Okay, the speakers are here.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Sumedh. Nice to see you.
Hello, ma'am.
It's really happy to see you.
Same here, same here.
I'm just waiting for HOD. Okay, we may start. Then. Hello, Param Jain.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. This is our first meeting, I think.
Yeah. It's the first time we are meeting.
Yeah. For Sumedh, we are very familiar with each other, and yeah, and thank you so much for accepting our request, both of you. Okay, because these students are really sincere, active, and they need the directions. So I feel that you are the one to whom I may ask to give the guidance.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. We would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hello all. Aarti madam, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. I think she is joining. She had some issue with the net.
Okay. Yeah, great. So you have almost 100 plus participants. Congratulations, Aili.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Great, yeah. The speaker has joined?
Yeah, ma'am. Speakers have joined. Just we will.
Yeah, hello all. Aarti madam, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. We have 100 plus participants, and all others also are. We have live streamed this Google Meet on YouTube also, so they are joining from YouTube also.
Great.
Great, thanks. Finally, we are in.
Yes.
Yeah. So, signing, you may start.
Yeah. Okay. Gaurav, will you present the screen? Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It brings me great pleasure to welcome all of you to the inaugural event of GDSC, that is Google Development Student Clubs MMCOE, for the academic year 2021-2022. My name is Saili Padmawar, and I'm the GDSC lead for this year, under the guidance of Dr. Aarti Agarkar ma'am, who will be our faculty advisor for the club. We are more than happy to introduce our teams, present an overview of the events we have planned for you throughout the year, and organize the events in such a way that they are experimental, innovative, challenging, and entertaining for all our fellow participants. So, welcome aboard. What exactly is GDSC? It is a platform or a community group composed of students, by the students, and for the students. This community helps students interested in Google developer technologies to enhance their technical as well as interpersonal skills. It is an amazing platform to gather students who have will and passion together and work on real life projects, as well as conduct various workshops, meetups, webinars, and work together and reach out to the future tech makers. Students from all the undergraduate or graduate programs with an interest in growing as a developer are welcome. By joining a GDSC, students grow their knowledge in a peer-to-peer learning environment and build solutions for local businesses and their community. Now I would like to hand over it to Aryan.
Thank you, Saili. Now let's take a look at some of the benefits of attending GDSC events. Participants get to build and grow their technical knowledge through various events and workshops that are conducted. By participating, students not only get to be a part of the Google ecosystem, but also get to use Google's resources and tools to build projects. One of the major advantages of being a part of any GDSC event is it helps to build personal and professional networks, which are of great importance in the future. One thing GDSC can definitely ensure is that all the participants would get exposure to technologies that are a part of everyday world and learn something new that would benefit them in the long run. The vision of our club is to provide resources and opportunities to ensure a symbiotic growth. A part of our vision also includes establishing a strong community of fellow student developers, maintaining a peer-to-peer learning environment, and building a community for students who are keen on learning newer technologies and look to building solutions for real-life problems. Our goals resonate with the idea of connect, learn, and grow. Attending various events helps in making connections, and we get to know people with similar interests from all over the country. As the connections are built, learning from each other becomes inevitable. More we learn, the more we grow. Our main goals include innovation, experimentation, community build-up, and growth.
Now, here's the list of domains we aim to work under. To begin with, we have machine learning and artificial intelligence. It is a branch of intelligence based on the idea that systems can learn from data, identify patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. Then, we have web and Android development. It encompasses all the actions, updates, and operations required to build, maintain, and manage websites or applications to ensure its performance, user experience, and speed are optimal. Finally, we have the competitive programming and placements. Competitive programming is a mental sports which enables you to code a given problem under provided constraints. It is highly essential to improve your logic building capabilities and challenge your wits. We are proud to announce our team for the year 2021 and 2022. We have with us an amazing team which is always determined to work efficiently and help us to innovate and organize different events for GDSC. The Google Developer Students Club MMCOE has been introduced and brought into action by our lead, Ms. Saili Padmawar, after passing through meticulous selection and interview process. We were fortunate enough to have her lead our team and guide us to innovate and learn. This is the dedicated development team headed by Mayank Joshi and co-headed by web development and co-headed by Yash Chavan. Our Android development team is co-headed by Aryan Dharmadhikari. The members of the web development team are Tanaya Tamankar, Sakshi Tekaye, and Mitali Chawule. The members of the Android development team are Aditya Paithani and Mohit Deshpande. Next, we have the highly capable competitive programming and placement team, which is headed by Aryan Hamine and co-headed by Yash Ghan. The members of the team are Sharvari Akre and Saili Devdikar. Next, we have my magnificent machine learning and artificial intelligence team headed by me, Piyush Terkar, and my co-head Pranav Kulkarni. The members of my team are Ishan Gala and Ruchita Abhang. Now we have our creative design and content team, which is headed by Trupti Reddy and her co-head Shreya Diwan. The members of the design and content team are Jayadatta Patwe, Deven Nandapurkar, Isha Fadke, and Sarang Ahira. Next is our marvelous marketing team, which is headed by Rucha Kulkarni and her co-head Gaurav Sonavne. The social media manager is Sakshi Salgaonkar, and we have Zui Ambikar as our event manager. The team members for marketing are Nikita Patil, Mrunal Avhad, Samiran Unchegaonkar, Om Kenge, and Shreya Tundalwar. Now I hand over to Saili. Saili, please.
Thank you, Piyush. Now let's have a quick overview for our upcoming events for this amazing year we have planned in front of us. Firstly, in September, we will be having a cloud campaign, followed by Android campaign, solution challenge, Flutter campaign, web campaign, ML campaign, and so on. Apart from that, we have other events planned like hackathons and days of codes to facilitate coding culture, open for all projects under the domain ML, AI, etc., as well as various coding competitions, workshops, which will help all gain knowledge and enhance their skills. Thank you. We are looking forward to an amazing year and hope all of you will be a part of the same. To know more about the club and upcoming events, please follow us on our social media platforms. We also invite you all to join our community via the link mentioned in the chat box so that you would be able to be a part of all the upcoming events too.
Thank you, Saili, for giving such an intriguing insight on GDSC and the upcoming events we have planned for this year. Now, I request our faculty advisor of GDSC MMCOE, Dr. Aarti Agarkar ma'am, to comment briefly on our team.
Yeah, thank you, Maya. Thank you so much for giving me chance. So, all of you, this is our first meeting. This is the inaugural session of our Google Developer Committee Club. So, first of all, I thank Saili. Because of her initiative, we are able to introduce this club in our college. And the important thing is the club is not limited to just the college. Any student can join here. That is, you can cover all the colleges under Pune, under Maharashtra, and all over the world. Any student can join this team, and the main aim is the collaborative work. So, the first of all, I thank our principal sir and the HOD ma'am who provided the guidance for starting this club in our college. Okay, and obviously, because of the stylish initiative, as she has passed the examinations of the group leader, it became possible for us to start the club at our college. Now, as the part of very first day, we had conducted the interviews for a number of students to become part of number of teams, and I'm happy to share that there were a number of enthusiastic students who were active, and they were having a lot of activities on their name. But it was very difficult for us to select the names. So we have selected a number of students based on few criteria. But I want to inform you that we are not limiting till here only. We thought that let us start with the activities of the club with these 5 teams. And based on the performance, based on the student interest, we will. So we can introduce a number of members in each and every team. Additionally, if possible, I'm interested to introduce some new teams considering different domains. So here is no limit at all. Google has given us all the teams must be very active. Definitely they are enthusiastic, which I can see based on their work till yet. Okay, and there should be use, or there should be benefit for a lot of students. Okay, so that is the main motto of our club. So I think HOD ma'am has joined right now. Hello ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, so I'm just giving the control to you so that you can present the departments here. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Aarti madam. First of all, I'm very happy to see the group of students who all have joined. This shows the enthusiasm among them to be a part of Google Developer Club. And of course, our speakers who are there with us, they will be equally motivating us and sharing a lot of knowledge with our students. As just to let you know, in our department, we have various center of excellence. One is our high performance computing, which contributes to parallel computing projects, as well as we do have a super workstation with that associated, where we have NVIDIA GPU Education Center to be precise. We have Tesla and Titan cards with our super workstation, where students gets opportunity to work with various projects on animation too. So this was one. HPC is one of our domains. Second is on AI and data science, as very well I can see on the slides somewhere this will be highlighted. And nevertheless, third year students starting with seminar, they take up this topic of AI and ML. In SPPU, this subject has been introduced in BE, data analytics, data mining, machine learning. But I'm very happy to see when I saw the seminars, students are starting taking up this topic right from third year. they are going to learn as a subject in academics in final year. But now this is the major attraction which we find AI and ML. But of course, we know Python is the language which students already they have started learning. Of course, platforms are available. Students have self-paced learning. So now more and more how to grab the opportunities. So instead of learning, now they are ready to take the project. So I say that my students are getting ready to deploy. So this is very, a very good thing for an HOD to know, for our senior faculties to know that we are actually, deployable students. We are creating a deployable students. And of course, the enthusiasm which I can see towards second year, third year students, by the time they land up in final year, nevertheless, MNCs will have, job openings for them if they continue continue to show this passion. So I wish my students all the very best. And yes, you have apart from AIDS, you have web development and all. That was also one of the stream I can see. Yes, so the only the main thing behind is that you should have a tool which you can drive. You don't need a driver. Of course, we need the mentors over there. But of course, like if you learn, if you have, that driving steering in your hand, that you can shape your career, you can move your career towards that destination. So skill sets are important to hold on it. Learning is important. What my students are learning, we have good mentors around. So I wish all the students very best to take this ahead. And once again, I congratulate Saili to take this initiative. Faculty advisor, Dr. Aarti Agarkar, madam. She's very actively, she participates in all these students' activities. So I wish once again all the best to all my students, faculty advisors, to the guests, to the mentors. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, yeah,
Okay.
Mayank, just a second. You can continue. Only the thing I'm interested to thank to both of the speakers for today's session. That is Mr. Sumedh Joshi and Mr. Param Jain, because on a single request they agree to give the session, okay, and give the guidance to our student. So thank you so much, Sumedh, and thank you so much, Param.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I now, yeah. So now you may continue your session, Kylie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Harmeet Khanuja ma'am and Aarti Agarkar ma'am, for your words of encouragement and guidance and constant support. Now I hand over to Sharwari.
Yes, thank you, Mayank. Let us now commence with the webinar, Pre-Recruitment Orientation Interview Roadmap. For today's session, we had over 300 plus registrations from various colleges like Commencement, COEP, IITH, PBG, MMIT, MMCOE, etc. We are grateful for having such a vivid crowd to be a part of this webinar. We are sure you will learn a lot along the way. A few instructions before we begin. All the participants are requested to mute their mics. If you have any questions, feel free to post it on the chat box. All the questions will be answered at the end of the session. Please abide by the rules. Now we'll begin with our session. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speakers for today, who are going to guide us on paving our way to success. We have Mr. Sumedh Joshi and Mr. Param Jain, founders of Yellow Monk Technologies, a venture studio, which helps brands and startups to grow from 0 to 1 and guide them in converting ideas to products. Sumedh comes with experience of working with multiple startups. He started his first startup, Byte6 Security, right during undergrad, by providing enterprise security solutions that are currently used by companies in India and overseas. Param Jain comes with a technical background and has worked with a plethora of products. Initially starting with his startup, Bangshi, during his college days, Param has worked with multiple product and gaming companies like BitBNS, Ludo King, and EA Studios. He is a firm believer that tech can transform lives in a positive way and thus is working on 100asin.com to add value to the lives of people who are into fitness and travel. Now, I request our speakers to take over and start the session. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sharwari. So, hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I am a firm believer that you are as good as the people you hang out with, and this initiative in the college is one big step towards building such a community that will help you grow. So maybe you have a new project in your mind, or you want to grow in your life. So these people over here, they will help you achieve that. So just stick together and help each other out, because together we all grow, right? So I request Param to please share the screen.
Yeah. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yeah, it's visible. Okay,
Yeah.
so we are here to make you understand the interview process. So now we can just start with it. So, Param.
Yeah, sure. So, hello guys. Today we'll just give you 5 tips so that you can ace the interviews. Let's start with what is product-based company and service-based companies. I'm sure that you guys have must gone through many terms like this, and you must be confused like what exactly is the difference between product-based and service-based companies. So first, let's understand what are those. If we do a difference between product-based and service-based companies, in a layman terms, the companies which have products of their own, or those who work on their own products, are product-based, and the service-based companies are the companies which provides their value add-on service to different companies or the different clients. Okay, so if you compare product-based companies, product is the king. They do all the development, all the research, all the marketing around their own product. Whereas in the service-based company, if you see, customer is the king. Whatever client says, these guys have to agree on. Okay, then in the product-based companies, people work on fixed stack of technologies. There is very definite stack which is used while development of these all products. Whereas in service-based companies, clients decide what technologies they want their product in, and that's why people who are placed in service-based companies usually get to work on multiple technologies. Okay, whereas if you see the interview process for product-based companies, they require moderate to high technical skills. As they are developing their own products, they want their candidates to be very much skilled, very highly skilled in the technologies that they work on. Whereas in the service-based companies, as there is a flexibility of technologies and they already work on multiple technologies, they look for easy to moderate technical skills. Okay, and when it comes to the salaries and hikes, definitely product-based companies have much more higher salaries than the service-based companies. This is majorly due to they have all the freedom and they are not limited to the client's money. Okay, apart from these, there are some other points as well, like interview process for this product-based companies are usually difficult as they look for high technical skills. Then the learning curve is good in the product-based companies because you get to work on a deep level on whatever stack they are working on. Whereas the office timings are flexible. In the service-based company, you strictly have to follow the 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever hours to clock in, because that are usually built to client side. And if you consider the job security, once your project is done in the service-based company, you are benched for several months before you get the new project. So there is lot risk involved while you are in the service-based company. So if you compare the job security, product-based companies are at give you better job security. Now, Sumedh will walk you through the interview rounds and interview processes that are followed by these companies.
Yeah, okay. So usually interview rounds consist of 3 to 4 steps. So it starts with screening round, which may consist of aptitude tests, coding questions, and group discussions maybe. So once you ace these rounds, then you move to the most dreaded technical interviews, right? And then you move to the HR rounds, which are majorly to judge your culture fit and your attitude towards the work. So the process is pretty straightforward, right? I don't think so, because let's dig a bit more and let's talk about the most dreaded technical interviews. So at most of the tech companies, algorithms and coding problems form the largest components of this interview process. So just think of these as problem solving questions, where we as interviewers are looking to evaluate your ability to solve algorithmic problems. Next slide, please. So in this round, you are mostly judged on a few things. To name a few, maybe your technical skills, your coding skills, your fundamentals, your experience, and your communication skills. So always remember that you should try your best to talk out loud throughout the whole problem and explain your thought process. Because we as interviewers have seen many times that people are great at solving questions, but while during interviews they are not able to convey what they are thinking, and that's where they lack. So practice to talk your thoughts out, because that will actually help you land a job. uh, yeah, so interview is not like a viva, so you need to prepare for it differently. To solve any problem, it is important to break that into smaller problems, right, and solve each problem. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. So let's break the huge problem of technical interviews into smaller chunks. One of the major problem faced during any interviews is that people just apply for the jobs without reading anything about the company, the recruiters, or even the job descriptions. So it's more like software development का job है ना, तो चलो apply कर ही देते हैं. So they just go to LinkedIn and they do apply. So it's a big no, right? So you should first understand the company's work, their tech stack, on which projects are they exactly working on, and then think that if you really like what they're working on, and knowing what you will be working on will also help you prepare better for the interviews. So now this one's slightly difficult, but you should give your best to find out the average experience of the interviewers. So what you can do here is that you can ask your seniors or the people who are currently working in that particular firm, and then understand the interview process. So we shouldn't just go to the interview thinking that jo hoga wo dekh lenge, right? So understand the people first, then it will help you prepare better. So you have such a good platform such as LinkedIn, so reach out to the people over there and just ask them questions, ask them about their interview process, and it will help you a lot. Yeah.
So usually if you look in the startups, the people who will be interviewing you must be the core team or a senior developer with whom you will keep on working while you are in the company. But at the larger companies, the process is entirely different. Usually HR or some proper interviewer are hired just to take interviews and all. These people might not at all meet you when you are in the company. So you have to keep these things in mind while preparing for your interviews.
Yeah, so now comes the type of questions which you will face in an interview. So first being the scenario-based questions. So what are they? So in these, you are mostly asked to find an optimal solution to a real life problem. So let's say, for example, what will be the most optimal solution to allocate seats to families of 3 to 4 in a plane with 100 seats. So you need to find the most optimal solution for these kind of problems. And these questions test your problem solving capability and how you break a huge problem into smaller chunks and then solve each chunk and then stitch all the solution back together. So that's what the interviewers are looking for. So here also, the major error students commit is that they focus more on the solution rather than the approach. So because we as interviewers really want to know how you think, and if our approach is right, even we understand that at the end of the day, you will surely find a solution. So just focus on the approach and don't run behind finding the right solution. Yeah, and So as I said, you need to practice. Next slide. Previous slide, sorry. Yeah. So as I said, you need to practice to think out loud because because you will reach a solution. Like how you reach a solution is more important to me than the solution itself. So give yourself some time, practice different kind of puzzles. There are plethora of puzzles all over the internet, and try writing pseudocode for these puzzles, and try explaining it to your friend, your colleague, or anyone you find. So right now you are in the best place because you have this whole community with you now. So just make use of it and just help each other out.
Yeah. So guys, also one thing here, interviewer here is not looking for the exact solution of your problem. Okay. He is not at all interested in whether you know the syntax properly or not. What he wants to see is, if given all the resources, are you able to solve that problem? So even while writing the code, it's not necessary that you write the code step by step and syntactically correct, but it's more important to show them that this is the logic that we will be using. And obviously syntax can be found from anywhere on the internet. Okay. So that's not the major problem here. Approach is what you should target.
Right. So now comes the second type of question, which are competency-based questions. So here I would like to take some time and explain the importance of projects to you. So we all do projects in our college, right? Those mini projects that we do in third year, or let's say the seminar in the third year. But do you realize that projects are usually done by all the students in that particular batch? So what's that thing that is actually helping you to stand out of the crowd? Just think about it. So I, as an interviewer, is more interested in the type of projects that you do apart from your academics, because these projects will really help me understand what you love and how good you can be at that. So collaborate together, work on new things, start finding internships. Yeah, so internships help me greatly in my career. So don't just wait for holidays कि चलो फाइनल एग्जाम खत्म होगी, एक महीना मिलेगा तब हम internships करेंगे. So don't wait for that. You can work after the college. These small little extra efforts right now will give you an edge above like majority of the students.
Right. So also guys, marks to sabko aate hai, okay? So if you add, you know, your regular college courses in your resume, it's not going to add up for the interviewer, because आपके साथ 100 लोगों के same courses added है, and interviewer really don't have time to judge your competency on the basis of your resume. So what he sees for is what extra have you added on your resume. तो मैं college तो ace करना है, college cutoff is very important. ठीक है, once you are above the cutoff, all that matters is those extra efforts, those extra hours that you have put in overall through your college days. Okay.
Yeah, truly said. So so once you have few projects under your belt, so sort them according to your technical knowledge and then put them in your resume and revisit them before your interviews, review the code, understand the working. So if you can't explain your own work, then who else will, right? And we tend to forget about the projects, so it's definitely important to just revisit them once in a while. And I would suggest that what I did was I just created a doc of all the projects which I did, and in that every doc I explained everything about that project. So whenever I feel, then I can directly study that. So that helped me a lot. So just a suggestion. And yeah, next slide, please.
Yeah. And guys, faking on your projects is not at all a good solution. Okay. Interviewers usually have this capacity to judge immediately on the basis of your interview that whether you have done that project or not. So please don't try that. At least go in depth in your own projects and then try to explain that.
Yeah, like the number of projects don't matter, but the depth of knowledge you have in each project, that is what is counted. So even if you have 2 projects, it is good enough unless like it is good enough if you know the whole depth of that complete project. Yeah. Okay, so and now comes the last type of questions, which are majorly direct questions where you will be asked to write code for an algorithm, or where you need to answer questions about inheritance or object-oriented programming, etc. So to ace these questions, you can understand the job description and have an idea about the questions and prepare for it. So just don't blindly apply for the jobs. Read the job description thoroughly, because I have seen many people do that, and then when they sit for the interviews, then they don't have any clue that what kind of questions will be asked to them. Yeah, so just don't do that mistake. And yeah, so for technical questions, you need your fundamentals very clear. So start practicing on various coding platforms, solve questions, and your projects can help you a lot here, because uh, these projects will clear your fundamentals. So make sure you get some projects under your belt. And also we will share some resources later at the end of the presentation. So I hope you understand what I tried to explain over here. Now Param will give you an idea about the soft skills and how should you build your profile so that you stand out and have a chance of proving yourself, because luck is not just a blind luck. You need to really stir things up to make yourself lucky. So that's what Param will explain now.
Right. So guys, now we all understood what all technical skills are needed. So basically how the interview process goes. Okay. So now as you have an idea of how your interview is going to be, let's discuss about how you can master those skills now. Okay. First thing to look out for is your mastering soft skills. If you are not a good communicator, it's not going to matter if you know like thousands of things, because at the end you have to work in a team. You need to convey your thoughts to your team members, to your team leads, to your managers. So those all things will come only if you have good soft skills. Okay. And in soft skills, what interviewer looks for is majorly 4 characteristics. First one is he's going to check your enthusiasm and attitude. If you are not interested for the job, then don't apply it, because your enthusiasm shows it right when you enter on your interview room. In your interview room, the interviewer starts judging your enthusiasm and attitude, whether you, because these things are needed to judge these 4 parameters, that is dependability, culture fit, emotional intelligence, and adaptability. Let's revisit these 4 parameters one by one. Okay. First one is dependability. If I am hiring you, I need to make sure that if any colleague is dependent on you, you are willing to help him. Or if you have something which is dependent on him, how you are communicating it. Because if not, for me as a company owner or as an employer, it's not going to matter, because there is going to be a huge communication gap. Culture fit. For any company, culture is the most important thing. If the company has a good culture, it grows. That's why when Sumedh mentioned go beyond about us, you should understand what they are trying to build, what is the vision, what is the mission behind that company, and if you can accommodate in that culture. Because many times it happens that you are just not a right fit for them, even though if you are like good at technical skills, but cultural fit is also important. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is basically how you empathize with your colleagues. Do you understand? Let's say your colleague is going through some rough patch, or let's say he had his accident. He met with an accident. So are you willing to take up his work? Are you empathizing with him? Or you are just blaming, no, it's your work, do it by yourself and all. So these are the things which are much needed when when you are working in a company and in a team. There should be adaptability. What if tomorrow I assign you some difficult work which you were not at all prepared for? Are you adaptable to accommodate that work in your work life? So these all are the skills that interviewer looks when you are in the interview. Second one is communication. Of course, as I told you, communication is the major thing. Then is your problem solving ability. So in the problem solving ability, just imagine if you are suddenly put up on a problem. Let's say you get a surge of like million users. How are you going to handle it? You have never prepared. It's not every day that you get million users on your platform. So how are you going to solve that problem? that's why DSA and all those stuff are tested while you are interviewing. Okay. And last one is leadership and initiative. Right from the beginning, even if you are interviewing for an intern job, company executives are looking for the leadership positions, because if they are building the leader, they are making sure that your company is going to grow and it's going to be in right hands. So you should also focus on your leadership and initiative skills. You should take initiatives and, you know, do different activities, which is very much going to help you while your interview process. Then now the major part, which we all are dreaded about, is how important is data structures and algorithms. I know data structures and algorithms, it's pretty tough, right? But is it that necessary when you are interviewing? So let's find out. First thing, data structure judges you on the capabilities of problem solving, analytical skills, and your fundamental concepts. So if you are able to apply those fundamental, now you have learned polymorphism, what is object-oriented company, object-oriented structures and all. But if you are not able to apply that in the real life, it's not going to matter at all. So yes, data structures and algorithms are important. Let's have a package-wise outlook on what is the DSA requirements. So let's say if you are aiming for 5 lakh per annum packages or below, arrays and linked lists are okay. I mean, if you do basic questions of arrays and linked lists, that is going to help. But if you are going to go above, so let's say you are aiming for 5 LPA to 8 LPA packages, then there might be questions on stacks and queues in their screening rounds itself. If you go higher, 8 to 10 lakh, then you should also know about trees in order, post order. This is just a generalized version, okay? So if you are aiming for 8 to 10, that also means that you should be very much well versed in arrays and linked lists, because they might ask you advanced questions in that. Whereas everyone wants higher packages, okay? So just look at the people applying for 12 LPA plus companies are much more higher than 5 LPA. So they have to screen you out. And the only way to screen you out is using these DSA requirements, okay? So if you are aiming for very high packages, which are like 12 LPA plus in dream companies, Google, Facebook, FANG, etc. So you should know at least what is graph, what is like depth first search algorithm or breadth first search algorithm, then basic concepts of dynamic programming algorithms. There are different kind of algorithms. So few terms might feel like alien terms to you, but once you start preparing for your interviews, these are going to be very common questions that comes up. Okay, so for algorithms, you can, you know, search for the greedy algorithm, divide and conquer, brute force approach, everything. So these are like common questions that every technical interview is going to have. Now let's move on to a process where we will be building our resume. Okay, these are the few tips that you must understand while building a resume. First of all, as a fresher, it's very much understood that you won't have that much of experience. So your resume should also be one pager. If you are making your resume more than one page, it's like you are bloating yourself. That's not a reality. Be as precise as possible on your resume. So in your resume, basically clearly highlight your achievements and quantify it. What does quantifying means? Instead of saying I am good at React Native or I am good at React.js, quantify it. I have done 20 plus projects in React.js. This is going to matter, okay? Then customize it for the roles that you are applying for. So if you are applying for analyst position, make sure you have big data or Tableau, such keywords on your resume. If you are applying for software development, make sure it's clearly highlighted that you have C, C++ skills, whatever. So if you are applying for Java role and you are putting C++ as a skill, it's not going to get selected, okay? So customize your resume according to the role which you are applying for. Then start writing accomplishments instead of skills, okay? Instead of saying I have good leadership skills, say I have hosted 15 events in my college. I was the president of XYZ club in the college. So these accomplishments are going to matter when you are building your resume, okay? And the most important thing is never at all lie on your resume. Be very much honest about what you are and what you are trying to achieve.
Yeah, and I would like to add one more thing. So what usually happens is like when you submit your resume in a big company, so people don't actually read your resume. There are certain bots who just cruise through your resume. So including such keywords is becomes very much necessary when you are actually applying for big companies. And a better way would be to actually approach the people who are currently working in that company, take their reference, and then apply, because that will surely increase your chance of landing an interview. So what I actually feel is like more difficult than excelling in the interview. It's actually more difficult to get to the interview. Yeah, and one more thing which I have seen, what most students do is like they write their marks from 10th standard, 11th, 12th, and then BE. So like I, as an interviewer, I don't care what your 10th marks were, what your 12th marks were, right? So what I really care about is like how good you were in your BE or your degree, and then your projects and stuff. So also people write their like third standard scholarship, fourth standard scholarship. So just don't do that. Write your recent achievements, and that will help you.
Yeah, relevant achievements
Yeah.
would be the key. So yeah. And also keep in mind, like guys, if you are applying off campus, you are going to put up cold emails to the companies like Google, Facebook. Just look at the numbers of applications that they might be receiving. It's you from your college. Likewise, there are hundreds of college in Pune, thousands of college in Maharashtra, and maybe lakhs of college in India. Okay, so everyone is applying to these companies, and clearly bots don't understand how good you are. So keywords are going to get you an interview, and the best way to get an interview is through referrals. Just hit anyone, any employee of that company on link list, request them, beg them to give you a referral, and that's the way. Once you have a referral, there is a clear shot of getting an interview. Okay, and then you have a chance, a fair chance, to be honest. Now building your tech profile. So if you are applying for tech roles, let's start with how you are going to build these things. First thing, let's say you are in first year, second year, third year. At whatever point you start, you should start building your tech profile with learning C and object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is going to be your basic building block. Okay, any language, first of all, while applying to the companies, languages don't matter. Okay, C, C++, Java, Python, these all are just like, they are usually skipped by the interviewers. If you are good at programming, that means you are good at problem solving abilities. Okay, so first start with C and object oriented programming, so you at least get a hold of how does the technical things look like. Once that is done, start exploring other languages. Someone might have preferred language as Java, other one might be interested in Python, then there is Ruby on Rails. There are so many languages these days. Just see what is convenient to you and what is like you are getting interest while solving those problems in that language. Okay, that is much needed. Now in the companies, there are two types of, so while preparing for this, there are two types of roles. One is through competitive coding and other one is the development processes. So many companies nowadays are skipping the competitive coding part, but it's equally important if you are obviously applying for higher packages companies like 12 LPA, A plus and all. Okay, so for competitive coding, first you must be the master of your preferred programming language. Let's call it as PPL. Okay, once you master those programs, start building basic programs in that language, writing basic programs, then create your account on HackerRank, CodeChef, build your LinkedIn profile. And guys, these things matter. Okay, CodeChef, HackerRank, the profile showcase on that, if you have like a 5-star rating on HackerRank, is going to impress the interviewer. He won't even go in depth while judging your skills if you have that. Okay, and in the level of difficulty, CodeChef is a little bit difficult, but CodeChef is like an industry standard. If you are good at it, that means everyone is willing to have you on board. Okay, Getting a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star in Code Chef is very difficult thing, and if you have done it, it's great. Okay, so that's how you should start. So I'll suggest start with HackerRank if you are first timer, and then slowly progress your way to Code Chef problems. Okay, and while doing this, you should also so basically learn data structures and algorithms while you are practicing problems. Instead of following the approach, let's see what is depth first search and then solving questions on depth first search, go to a problem of depth first search, see how the questions are there, and now what is required, learn those things. So if that problem requires greedy algorithm, see what greedy algorithm is and do the reverse engineering stuff. Okay, then comes the development part. Now what is difference between coding and development? You don't get real life problems in terms of competitive coding questions. Okay, whereas development is what you will be working in those companies. So there are different frameworks and technologies. Development usually means web app development, website development, mobile app development. Okay, and there are different frameworks for each of these platforms. So for developing web app, you might be well versed in AngularJS, React.js, whereas for mobile app, you need React Native, Ionic, Flutter, Cordova, etc. Okay, so these are the frameworks that you should start learning. Then choose one framework. For example, in the mobile app development, if you choose your platform to be mobile app, then in there you have many options. So React Native is there, Flutter is there, Ionic is there. You have to select one framework and be the master of that framework. Each framework has job opportunities in the market. It's just you should be the master of that framework. Okay, then start building your demo projects. Okay, most important thing is getting a real life work experience. Real life work experiences, internships, freelancing projects, etc. But at the current stage which you are in, no one is going to give you an internship because you just don't have that knowledge. So for that, you have to start building your projects. Try simulating, try building Instagram of your own, try building WhatsApp of your own. These all things are going to add up. You know, you can try out starting new products in your college, and what will happen at the worst? It will fail, right? But it will surely strengthen your resume. So make sure you are doing the projects in a right way and then scoring an internship for that. These real life work experience matters a lot. Okay, and do this right from the second year. I got my first internship when I was in the first sem of second year. So the early you start, the better you get. Now we have discussed all the things. How should your roadmap look like? Pick up your position. What is your current position on this roadmap and start it from there. So let's say your interview is like more than 1 year ahead of you. For example, usually interviews start in the 4th year. So you are in like 2nd or 3rd year at the moment. Start building projects which are outside college. Your college projects doesn't count. Okay, they are must, but they are not the only things that they look for, because everyone has their own college project. Okay, so as I already told you, that what you do apart from that is important. Build projects outside your college, learn multiple languages, then expand your network, get internships from different companies, start working in different, understand how the culture works, how companies work. Then let's say you are like 3 to 12 months within an year of an interview, make a target list of your companies. Okay, these are the companies I want to go in. Be it Google, there should be ambitious companies as well as the companies which are like a easy go for you. So you must be realistic while you are building your goals and all. Okay, then learn and master big goals. What is time complexities? What is space complexities? These all technical terms you should see. There is a fixed set of questions that interviewer asks. Okay, he is also from the same world and there are fixed resources from which he is going to ask you. So make sure you master all those things. Okay, implement data structures. Once you are like 1 to 3 months, do your mini projects, do mock interviews, build your resume, start writing your resume, review it, update it, and then finally interview, and you can go and achieve your company. Okay, so maybe if you guys want, you can take a screenshot of this screen. This is the roadmap that you have to follow. You can start, maybe you might be at the position where you already have the internship, so you should start building your resume. Just pick up your position and start working accordingly. So this is the overview of tech stacks that are generally used. So if you are starting for the first time, when I was starting, I was very much confused. I didn't know about what is Cordova, what is React Native, what is jQuery, what are technologies in backend, front end, nothing. Okay. So while starting, to give you an overview, if you are building a front end application, you should know Angular JS, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then Backbone, Bootstrap. If you are building mobile apps, you should be good at iOS, Android, native Android, iNic, then jQuery, Xamarin. Backend is basically something which where your actual data resides. So it also includes your cloud services and also AWS, Azure, MySQL databases, MongoDB, PostgreSQL. So this is the tech stack that usually companies use, and there are opportunities in any one of these tech stacks. So just pick your technology, be the master of that technology, and I'm sure that you will get a job in that. Okay. Next is resources and sites to prepare from. This is just the resources as Sumedh mentioned earlier. You can practice it from LeetCode, HackerRank, Algo Expert. I'll say for data structures and algorithm, treat Geeks for Geeks as your Bible. Start following it very religiously. Right from the array to the greedy algorithm, divide and conquer, Dijkstra's, etc. Just go through all the questions. How many of them will be possible for you? And I'm sure this is going to help you a lot while you are going to appear for your interview. Okay, so Geeks for Geeks is what? There are also like commonly asked algorithm interview questions as well as commonly asked data structures. So as I told you already, 6 set of questions is there. So if a question is of linked list, there is high chances that you are going to get asked how write a program for reversal of linked list. Okay. And in technical interviews, mostly they expect pseudocode. For screening, you have to write a code and pass the test cases. But once you are done on that, you are mostly asked to write a pseudocode for this. So just understand all the algorithms in order, post order, pre-order for trees, etc. And that's the way you go. So now, what is the next step that you should do? You should start solving DSA questions. Practice is the key. You should basically just make your target, like I'll solve 2 questions daily, then slowly improve your number of questions that you solve on a daily basis as well as the difficulty level of those questions. Okay, build amazing products so that you showcase it on your resume. Go out there, participate, network. Network is basically, you can start it right away from your LinkedIn. Just whosoever is your role model, start connecting with them. Not necessary you should know them on a personal level, but you can always start a conversation, and people in industry are quite helpful, so they'll always get back to you if you have any doubts and all. Okay, work X matters a lot. Start interning. Even if you are interning for a free, usually first internships are free. Okay, usually first internships basically no one pays you for, but you get to learn a lot. You get to know how the industry works. So apply for different companies, just get going, get started and get started getting work experience. Yeah. So that was all about the technical skills, but please understand, if you find technical things are getting tougher and you are not able to cope up, please know that companies just not require technical skill. There are more the number of positions in the other departments as well. So there are positions in design, content, business, analysis, etc. So if you are looking for an analyst role, or if see what you are passionate about matters a lot. If you are passionate about creating UI UX designs or graphic designing, just go and apply for those positions and start building your resume in that way. Okay. So basically, whatever decision you are going to take today is going to stay with you for your entire career. If coding is something that is not enjoyable by you, you have to do it for rest of your life. You can fake it for first 2 years, but then on it gets really tough. So first find your passion and then decide what you really want to do. Okay. Yeah. So that was it about all the technical opportunities and how to prepare. We at 100% also have opportunities in this. if you guys are interested, if you really want to get trained and all, just drop us a message at this this link 100% hyphen internships. We'll get back to you, and we are more than happy to help you guys out. So feel free to reach anyone of us, be it Sumedh or me. Both are available on all the major platforms, and whatever doubts you have, we can get it cleared. Thank you. We can have the questions now. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Your words of wisdom guided us, and I'm sure all the participants got several pointers about the interview preparation and a heads up for the challenges involved. Now, we will move on to the question and answer session. If you have any doubts or anything you want to ask our speakers, please feel free to drop them in the chat box.
Yeah, guys, so I've dropped few links in the chat box. So like if you want to apply for any of the internships, then you can just go on that link and apply. And if you have any questions, then just ask us. We'll be happy to answer it.
Sir, some of our YouTube streamers have asked us, can you please elaborate on UI and UX?
Yeah, sure. So basically every company needs, there is a certain product life cycle which every company follows, every product company follows. First, there are UI UX designs that are needed to be made, and developers then code those designs. So there should be a pixel perfect design which is implemented by the coders. So there are different tools. Adobe Sketch is there, Figma is there. You should master one of these designing tools, and you can try for the internships in that. So maybe Pinterest is your platform which you should follow if you are really interested in UI UX designing. Yeah.
We have some questions in the chat box also.
Yeah. So Subodh is saying that, is there any special requirement for these internships? For the internships that we have, there is no such requirement. We'll train you from our end. It's just we need the enthusiasm and right attitude that we will be looking for in the interview process.
Yeah, but you shouldn't just apply for the sake of getting an internship. If you really have interest, then only apply.
Yeah. And also apply for the fields that you are passionate about. So if it is content writing, if you really want to do blogging and stuff, just apply. We'll connect you with the right people so that you get the right mentorship there. Then how much time, Saili is asking how much time we should invest every day for solving DSA question. Sumedh, would you like to take up that?
Yeah, I think we can't actually specify how much time you should do it. It's up to you. But what's necessary is that you should do it consistently every day. Like even if you're able to solve one question every day, it's good enough. But do it
one question every day for consistently is a very big deal, Saili. If you are able to do that, it's great. At the, let's say at 30th day, you will be at the position where you are already above like 85% of the people. Okay, so start small, but make sure that you are consistent, because you are going to get frustrated. If you start looking at the graph question, that is going to take up like 2 to 3 hours of your day. So just start anywhere, and according to the difficulty level you are stuck at, go above or beyond.
Like starting and then following it consistently every day is the most important thing that you can do. So do it every day.
Yeah. So Sumedh, Prajakta is asking to resend the internship links. So Piyush says, if I am approaching someone in XYZ company to get a referral interview, what should my message content to increase my chances of getting one? Okay, so assuming you are cold emailing these people, let's say you saw someone from LinkedIn who is there, who is an employee of XYZ company, and you want to approach them. Number one, they don't have that much of time. So if you are not familiar with them, they are not going to entertain you for a long. Okay, make sure you grab their attention in first 2 lines. Okay, for first 2 lines, be as precise as possible. Say, I want to apply for XYZ company and I needed a referral for this. And that's how, if someone is going to get hooked, they'll get hooked at that point and will get back to you. So that's how you should go about it. Sir, I'm in mechanical department. How to join Java course? Okay, there are number of courses available online, Atul. So you can start with any of the Udemy course if you want, or the Coursera. Coursera also provides you the scholarships. We are not sure about the mechanical jobs, honestly, because we work in the IT industry and have experience in the same. But if you want to shift to the IT industry, then that's the go. You should start looking for the courses and all.
Yeah, Aditya is asking, my strength is Python. Also, the domain I'm interested for AIML. So besides Python, what else should I explore for AIML? I have implemented few projects too. Oh, that's great. So what you can do is like there are websites for competitive coding. So similarly, you have certain websites for say Python or like AIML or data science like Kaggle. So start solving problems on these questions. And the most important thing which I feel is to get into the community of people who are already doing this kind of stuff. So like on Kaggle, there are different groups. So just get into it, talk to these people, and they'll be more than happy to answer the questions related to your specific domain, because they are consistently doing it from say 5 to 10 years. So that is a great thing to do.
Yeah, guys, and you have started this Google Development Club. Make use of it. Start doing the projects together. It's going to help you a lot. Then we have, can you send, I have achieved 5 stars on HackerRank. Which platform should I shift for further improvement in competitive program? CodeChef is your answer. So start working on the CodeChef. I'm sure that there are many questions on CodeChef which you will feel are very much challenging, and that's how you should take. Also start participate. So once you are good at competitive programming, there are multiple hackathons and competitions that are regularly held. So IOI is one of that, International Olympiad of Informatics. Then there is ICPC. I guess every college has a ICPC chapter. So start from your college level, climb up the ladder, and try if you can go to the international contest of ICPC, and that's how you showcase your skills.
Yeah, organizers, can we pin this message in the chat box, or else if you can then share this message to these people?
Sir, we will make sure to circulate this message everywhere on our WhatsApp networks also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Aditya says my strength is Python. Okay, this is done.
How much fees required to get internships? There are no fees as such. The fees.
Okay, first of all, don't apply for the internships which are asking for fees.
Yeah.
Because for them it's like a marketing trick and a revenue model. Try getting genuine internships on the basis of the knowledge that you have. Okay. So usually internships are for training yourself, not while working on the real industry product. So it's also going to help the other party, which is going to be the company. Okay. So don't fall in the mess of this paid internships and all.
Like basically think it this way, that companies are not giving you internships. It is like you are skillful. That's why you are getting those internships. So I don't think you should pay for any kind of internships. You're already paying through your work and your skills to the companies itself. So companies should pay you, but not you.
Yeah. Chinmay is asking which language is best to start DSA, either C, CPP or Python. Okay, so Chinmay, first of all, I'd like to say you should always start your coding journey with C, because C is used nowhere, to be very honest. Okay, but C forms the basics of entire coding that you are going to do. So start with C, but once you are done, like have the knowledge of CPP is generally used for getting knowledge of object-oriented programming and all, but you can get it in any language. If you ask me which is the best language for DSA, if you want easier way to do this, Python is your way, because coding in Python is much more easier than any other language. But if you want to go to the depth of it, C++ is most widely used, because C++ you can work on the kernel level too and build it up on the application level programs. Yeah.
Right. So someone is asking also for front end, is Angular better than React? Param, would you like to take that?
Yeah. So in terms of Angular versus React, I'll say most of the companies nowadays use React.js. AngularJS is very much efficient, but it was used earlier. React has like much. So there are two ways to look at this problem. If you also want to go into mobile app development, I'll say React is your way to go, because React also has support to React Native, and React Native is much easier if you are on the same stack. So I'll suggest React Native, but there are like different opinions. Like it depends on what stack you choose. So just choose anyone and be the master of it.
Right. So Saili is asking any platforms where we can give mock technical interviews. Yeah, there are certain platforms like Algo Experts, but I guess they are paid. So what you can do is you can actually leverage this whole community of yourselves. So you can start interviewing each other. There are n number of questions on the internet. You have the solutions. So just start solving those questions in front of your friend, and they can give you good enough feedback, like how are you communicating and how easily are you solving that problem.
Just leverage this platform to the best.
Yeah.
Like maybe one student can be an interviewer, another one can be the interviewer. Have a proper formal mock interview, and that's the way to go. Then we have Aditya is asking platforms for C++ to learn from basic. There are many platforms, Aditya. You can start from anywhere. Rather, I'll say you can start from books as well, if you have access to your college library and all. But if not, there are many courses available. C++, like Geeks for Geeks, then quite a few platforms actually. Just do a simple Google search and you'll get it. See which platform you are liking the most, rather than choosing one platform and going for that.
Yeah, so Mansi is asking how many languages we can study for any interviews. So there are not any, like, I can't quantify how many languages you should study, but what
actually languages are immaterial. Like languages are not necessary for your interviews, because interviewer is looking for the technical skills, object-oriented programming concepts. For him, knowing the polymorphism is more important than knowing how to write a printf statement in C++.
Right, but it's better to know, let's say, one language for front end, one language for back end, and one database. So it would definitely add, but languages are not the only thing which will help you land a good job.
Yeah. So if you want to go for a full stack development, choose JavaScript as your stack. Okay. JavaScript has, for backend, you can go with Node.js. For front end, you can go with React.js, AngularJS. So JavaScript based stack is good if you want to do a full stack development. Then which platforms would you suggest for competitive programming, hacking and learning? Okay. So for competitive programming, I'll say HackerRank and CodeChef. I guess there are few newer platforms as well which provide this facility, but you can start with these. Hacking and learning is very subjective. So if you want to learn hacking, then that totally depends. Like you can simply do a Google search. There are this, I guess Sumedh can better answer at this hacking and all.
So for hacking and learning, I would suggest that you can use Hack the Box. Hack the Box, like I used to do Hack the Box when I was in college. So it's really good. So you should try that. So there are certain virtual machines on which you can actually implement your code, and then you can find the vulnerabilities. You're talking about a cyber security here, right? So yeah, if that's
ethical
the case,
hacking, let's
ethical hacking. Yeah, if that's the case, then Hack the Box is the way to go.
Yeah. Aditya is saying, hello, I have been learning Flutter and Dart for a while. I have also completed a 6-month internship where I worked in front end using Flutter. I am interested in becoming a full stack developer. So what should be my next step? So if you know Flutter, that means you are already done with your front end part of mobile app development. Now you should start looking into the backend stack. You can start with, if you are like Dart, you are working on Dart, that's fine. So if you want backend, you have a choice here. You can start working with the Python or JavaScript based backend, as I said. And that's it. Once you know the backend, you are a full stack developer. Yeah. Also, if you want cloud, you can go to AWS and Azure. Yeah.
Yeah. Atharva is asking, how do I understand that I have achieved a certain level of problem solving, which is expected by product-based companies? So what I would say is interview is a very subjective experience. So it can happen that the interviewer may ask you a very difficult question, whereas your friend a very easy question, and then he may get through. But what important is that you should really believe in the process. So so you should solve problems every day and just believe that you are doing it consistently. Like one day or another, you will surely get a good job.
Yeah.
So don't
Atharva,
just
and I think when you are on this journey of preparing, you yourself will know that now I am
Right.
ready to start interviewing. So that's pretty much enjoy your journey. You'll like it. Soham is asking how much importance of open source. Oh yeah, I forgot to touch this point on the resume. Nice question, Soham. So open source is very much looked upon. Okay, for the interviewers, for the companies. Like you might be surprised to know that few companies actually hunt on open source platforms for their future candidates. So there is a dedicated team at Google, Facebook, Netflix who is constantly, looking for this Stack Overflow people who are answering to the Stack Overflow or contributing to the open source projects. There are very many popular open source projects out there, and if you are contributor to one of those, it's surely going to add up in the resume. That's something which is going to make you stand out. So yeah, that is very important if you are contributing to open source. Is GATE beneficial for placement? Okay, so first of all, GATE is mostly for the MTech, BTech, programs, and if you are looking for PSUs. So for placement, I'll say it depends in which language you give your GATE. So in which department. If it's going to be a computer science, GATE is mostly, it's not related to the technical interviews and all, but it will help you get a job in PSUs.
Yeah, Subodh is asking that just fill the form provided above. Are there any further process? Yeah, Subodh, we'll just get back to you. So you need not worry about it. And thank you for
Our
filling
team will review your applications and all, and they'll contact you if you are right fit. So for us, what we are looking forward is we are building this product called as 100% right now. And we really want everyone who is passionate about the product or who likes the idea to work with us. So that's what the application is about. Our team will review it and get back to you. Viraj is saying you said about the keywords in resume. What are the main keywords we can use in our resume for freshers? Sumedh, would you like to take that up?
Yeah, no, it completely depends on your projects and what you have done till now. But just to give you an example, so let's say you have completed a project in machine learning and using one algorithm, let's say. So don't just write that I did this certain project using machine learning. You need to mention what were the technicalities involved in that project, what algorithm you used. So these are what.
So basically writing it as, I did a project in machine learning. What you can say is I solved XYZ problem while with the help of regression algorithm in machine learning. That is going to boost your resume. Quantify it as much as possible. Okay, then Shubham is saying if my domain is web development and have interest in AI too, and I'm good in Python, then is there a need to be good at C++ or no? I think that's pretty much sufficient. So if you are good at AI as well as web development and Python, I think pretty much you are a full stack developer. So you can easily get placed in any one of these domains. But make sure that you are the master of at least one of these domains than just knowing all these domains. Because for me, if you ask, I know what is AI, I know what is ML, I can give you some algorithms and all. But if you ask me what I really do, I'm very much good at developing apps, developing products. Okay. So that's how you should be able to justify yourself.
Yeah, I guess, guys, we are just missing a point over here somewhere. It's that like any programming language, it's just a medium, right? So the major thing is like, are you able to solve that problem or not? If yes, then I'm pretty sure that you will be able to do that using any language available on the internet. Because learning syntax is not a big deal, but the ability to solve the problems, divide it in smaller problems, and then stitching up the whole solution together, that's the actual skill that is required. So don't just worry about the problems, focus on the problem solving skill, and then you will easily get through it.
Yeah. So Prajakta is asking, I am interested in Android domain currently. I'm working with Flutter, Kotlin, and Java and Cloud Firebase to create basic apps. So how can I upgrade my journey towards Android? Okay, so I'm assuming that you want to do is develop Android apps. And if you already know Flutter, Kotlin, and Java, that pretty much is the stack for Android. I'll say start building apps instead of just learning now. If you are good at Flutter, show me like you have built like 3 apps in the Flutter, and also choose what you really want to do. Do you want to do your core Android, or do you want to go into hybrid platform like React Native or Flutter, or do you want to use just Ionic or some other hybrid which are not natively rendered? So these are the skills. Choose any one of that. If you are doing core Android, that's great. Just go dive deep into it and try building apps, and that's how you can upgrade your journey. Is a DSA required for an UI UX designer? No, it's not. For designer, it's majorly the creative skills that are looked for. Are you able to recreate those stuff which are there in the mind of maybe the product owner or the founder or anyone, basically the product people? So that's what is looked upon. You should be able to virtually recreate it in a very, good looking manner. Then Atul is asking how to develop app. Okay. So it really depends on which app you want to develop. If you want to develop web app, you can go for React.js, AngularJS. If you want to develop mobile app, you can go towards the technologies that I just mentioned. Native Android, iOS, Swift programming is there. Then for natively rendered hybrid apps, there is React Native, Flutter. For just hybrid Ionic, depends on that. Swarali is asking, can you send those links again? Okay, we got the links.
Okay. GDSC is asking, after getting good at front end as well as back end in one stack, what would be the next step? I would like to say that like if you think you are good at it, then start doing different kinds of projects, start approaching for internships, and then you will pave your own path. So if you think you are really good at it, then do as much projects as you can, and it will really help you. Yeah. Atul is asking, I am developing app, how to expose it? I didn't get your question, Atul. If you are asking how to deploy it, then I would suggest that what you guys can do is like you 10 to 12 guys, you can come together and create an account on Android store, and then you can publish your app over there. So like no money is very big if you really want to learn stuff. So don't think about that. And if you think it's too costly, then you can always contribute together. If you can contribute for a college trip, then you can definitely contribute for a app store for you. Yeah. A few people say that full stack developers are like jack of all trades and master of none. What is your take? And if we need to master one of the sides and just know the other, how deep should we know the other? Yeah. So Param, would you like to take that? You're on mute, I guess.
Yeah. So rightly said, like if you consider, I'll say full stack development is not about mastering both the sides of the technologies, front end and back end. It's majorly you know about both the sides. You can work on any of those, but you have one stronger skill set. So maybe you can be good at front end, like best at front end, whereas you also know how to code in the back end. So if you just need to write one API, you can easily do it by yourself, and you are never dependent on any other developer if you are a full stack. That's what the full stack definition is. It doesn't mean that you should be mediocre in both and then you will be called full stack. That full stack is not think. Yeah.
Akshay is asking, is learning from YouTube beneficial? I would say learning from everywhere, it's beneficial only. So if you are looking to learn, then that attitude is good. So every source is good, unless and until, right? Like if there are some bad sources too, but yeah, YouTube is a good.
So if you are learning from YouTube, I'll say basically if you are learning from anywhere, if you are learning from courses, Udemy, Coursera, YouTube, anything, just make sure you are implementing, you are doing it by yourself while you are learning. So it's not like whosoever is like teaching you on YouTube, whosoever is the teacher is just showing you how to code and all, and you are just sitting ideally and just watching it. That won't make you a good developer. You should be parallelly coding so even if he writes like if A is equal to B, you should be able to replicate it on your code base in the real environment. So that's how you should learn from any of the source. Chinmay is asking, does front-end and back-end skills make anyone a full stack developer? And if not, what are the other ways to become a full stack developer? Okay, so Chinmay, full stack means that you know front-end as well as back-end skills. So that pretty much means that you are a full stack developer. You can master any one of these technologies and you will be called as a full stack developer. You can write your profile as a full stack developer. But whereas in industry, there are separate positions for full stack, for front end as well as back end. So when you are full stack, they can make you work on any one of these technologies. Whereas if your role is particularly front end developer, then you will be mostly working on just the front end side of stuff.
Yeah.
Aditya is saying, if we are good at one particular language, example C++, and have good problem solving skills, but the company requires someone with Java or Python or any other language, would the company still hire us because of good problem solving skills and train us for the desired? Yes, that's what the point is, Aditya. So for everyone who is asking, should I master this language or not? If you are if company has that confidence that you are best in your language, you know C++ to the fullest, even though if I don't have C++ position, I'll hire you because learning a language is never a challenge. The problem solving skills is. So Aditya, if you are good at it, then don't worry, any company will hire you, be it C++ or not.
Nakul is asking, does certificate matter for resume? Because if we learn from YouTube, we won't get one. I would say that certificates don't matter a lot. What certificates can do is basically it can help you land an interview, but it can't help you get a job. So to get a job, you really need to excel in the technical rounds or whatever the rounds the company is taking. But doing just certifications will not matter unless and until you are able to actually apply what you are learning from the certification.
So Nakul, if you are saying about Udemy certificates and all, that's not going to help you at all, because no one is going to ask you for your certification in a particular language. But whereas if you already have written certification, your interview process will show how much knowledge you have gained. So that's what is necessary. Yeah, that's it. Yes. So the knowledge and the projects are enough. Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that's it, guys. Do you have any other questions?
I guess there is one more question in the chat box.
Yeah. Sumedh, how to find internship or local startups, like any source other from Internshala? Okay. It's basically you should start reaching out to the people. That's the only key. Internshala startups are more like a scam, but you can always reach out to real people from different companies that you would like to work with, and take the process from there.
Yeah, and the best thing which I would suggest is just look where your seniors are working right now, and then you can talk to them, because
ask them for a referral.
Yeah, ask them for a referral.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I guess
cold
we are
emailing. Cold emailing is, yeah, sure. Cold emailing is actually one of the stuff. The return rate is very low, but if you are lucky enough, you will get a response, and then you might get a chance to work with your dream company.
Yeah, so don't shy away from sending mails or messages to unknown person. Yeah, but it better be like legit messages. But yeah, don't shy away. So just be specific, like why you're approaching that person, what do you actually want from that person, and वो पूरा story मत लिखना, मैं तुम्हें यहाँ देखा था, तब मुझे ये मिले थे, अब मुझे तुमसे ये चाहिए.
Yeah,
like,
guys,
just
be
be very
as specific. Yeah.
People don't have that much time to read. So if you're specific, then मैं देखूंगा, अच्छा 3 sentences एक मिनट में पढ़ लिया, reply कर दिया. But पूरा paragraph लिखोगे तो I'll skip it most probably.
And mostly remember, these mails and messages are usually read when you are doing something. So कोई अगर meeting में bore हो रहा है तो देख लेते हैं, जब messages तब read होते हैं. So also just keep in mind the mentality with which the people will be seeing your messages and all. Do you have any resume right now for freshers?
Yeah, we'll share this to the organizers.
Yeah.
Then they can share it with you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chinmay. Yeah.
I guess Atul Lokhande has raised his hand. Atul, do you have any question for speakers? Okay, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so we are at the end of the question and answer session. There was a lot of active participation from all the students, and all of the speakers answered it very well. Thank you for your guidance, sir. We enjoyed the session very much. It was really informative and educative.
Yeah, even we had a good time. So you guys can just approach us on LinkedIn. If you have any doubt, then just message us, email us, whatever you feel right, just do it, and we would be more happy to answer your questions.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. It was really a great webinar.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so now I would like to call upon the diligent, hardworking, and multifaceted lead of GDSC MMCOE, Ms. Saili Padmavar, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rucha. A warm and cherished afternoon to all our dignitaries, faculty, speakers, and all the participants. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event a success. Firstly, I would like to thank our Honorable Principal, Dr. S.M. Deshpande Sir, the HOD of Computer Engineering, Dr. Harmeet Khanuja Ma'am, and the Faculty Advisor of GDSC MMCOE, Dr. Aarti Agarkar Ma'am, to believe in us and gave us opportunity to give rise to this amazing team. Your constant guidance and irrevocable support inspires us to move forward and face the challenges we have in front of us. Secondly, I would like to thank our brilliant speakers, Mr. Sumedh Joshi Sir and Mr. Param Jain Sir, for taking some time out of their busy schedules to join us today. Your words of wit threw light upon the complexities of recruitment processes and guided all the participants towards an efficient solution. I would like to express my gratitude towards all the participants of this webinar for being cooperative and joining us in the inaugural ceremony of GDSC MMCOE in its establishment year, and I hope to see many familiar names in the events we carry out henceforth. Last but not the least, I would like to acknowledge the collaborative efforts of my teams, their consistent hard work towards the work we put together for the foundation of this event. I'm looking forward to planning and organizing several events, workshops, and webinars with this excellent team in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Saili. Your words summed up the entire event right to its minute details. Now we are about to end this session. Please remember to fill the feedback form to rate your experience and to help us innovate to organize several events for you. The form is in the chat box. We will make sure to mail it to you too and send it on the WhatsApp group too. To know more about GDSC MMCOE and get updates about the upcoming events, follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn. Our Instagram and LinkedIn IDs are there in the chat box too. We also invite all of you to join our community via the link mentioned in the chat box so that you would be able to be a part of all the upcoming events we have planned in the coming year. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. It was great being here. So great congratulations to every one of you, all the organizers. Nice
Thank
work.
you, sir.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you, sir. Thank you. It was really informative and it will be beneficial for all the students too.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Take care.